What's going on with Lamar Jackson?
All right, Laura, we mentioned Lamar Jackson and the progress he made with the Baltimore Ravens. Well, now the team officially has announced a new 5-year agreement with Lamar Jackson, tying him to the Baltimore Ravens through the 2027 season. Not difficult to see this coming when you hear that the two sides are making progress, which is something that they hadn't done for quite some time. They've talked about 5-year deals back in September. They talked about 3-year deals during the offseason. And now the two sides reach agreement on a 5-year deal. We saw the Jalen Hurts deal get done a couple of weeks ago. Now we see the Lamar Jackson deal get done next, right before the draft, right before some of the options that people speculated on would dry up and leave Lamar in a situation where really him and the Baltimore Ravens needed each other. This was the deal that made sense for both sides, and they struggled to come up with a deal for 2 years. But finally, Lamar Jackson had a chance to test free agency. The market, I don't believe, was what he thought it would be for whatever reason. And so in recent days, talks started up between the two sides, and today, officially, the Ravens have announced a new 5-year agreement with Lamar Jackson, tying him to Baltimore through the 2027 season.
Adam, we'll continue to stay with you as you get more information on the terms of the deal. I'm fascinated to find out the guaranteed money. We'll go right back to Adam as soon as he gets it, which he'll get it soon. So, 5-year deal, Lamar Jackson. Mina, your initial reaction?
First of all, the length of it is interesting because I thought, okay, if Lamar can't get the guarantees, maybe he'll push for a 4-year deal. This is a long commitment to the Ravens, so I'll be curious to see the guarantees. I'll be curious to see whether there might be a no-trade clause like Jalen Hurts. I think that would be huge for Lamar in particular, given some of his injury history. But as Dan said in the last segment, this turns the Ravens into contenders because the Ravens were contenders halfway through last season before Lamar Jackson got hurt. And then the defense caught up to the offense, as RC and I harped on constantly. So for them to finally have some stability, have an improvement, I think, on offense and the coordinator, and then have this young defense, it's going to be a very exciting team to watch.
It brings me back to years ago to this very day. And when the Ravens went, and Ozzie Newsome went back into the first round and drafted a guy that a lot of people said, like, hey, you're going to have to play wide receiver. You're going to have to play running back. You can't throw. And it's really cool to see kind of that happen for an organization. The young man take advantage of it. Lamar's been MVP, and we've talked about this. He's been incredible on the field. He's been a beacon in that community. He's done everything the right way. It's awesome to see kind of that get rewarded, that he's earned every single penny of that. And to Mina's point, now my mind transitions to what do the Ravens do tonight? And I'll go back to it. I really think they should take a wide receiver because of firepower, but this is a celebration for Lamar Jackson. It really is because of all that was said about him and the doubts that were levied upon him when he was drafted on this very night.
Well, I think it's not only about those doubts, it's the doubts that have continued to exist about him even leading up to this point. When we were talking about Lamar Jackson actually inking or deciding to take this deal, it was, well, you can't give him money because of this, or you can't do this contract.
He's missed this many
because
games.
Of, right. And so now it's the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson understood how much they both need each other, and they got this deal done.
Yeah.
Swagoo.
All right, I'm calculating something right now because this was the big talk.
He literally has his calculator out.
All right, so I'm gonna put 260 million because I'm assuming, all right, times 3%. All right, that's what I'm doing. Hey, bear with us on TV. This is the kind of stuff we do.
Are you trying to see how much money the agent would have got?
Yeah.
It's like 40.
Everybody said it couldn't get done without him.
Yep.
Everybody said that this deal would not get done without an agent. And I know that the guaranteed money was the focus. But in a sense where you got a young quarterback, to your point, that was doubted coming out of college, had to prove that a dual threat quarterback could actually win games, became an MVP, and then the narrative shifted because it was funny how this whole thing went. First it was the Ravens need to pay Lamar Jackson. What are the Ravens doing? The Ravens were the bad guy. And then Lamar Jackson became the bad guy because he wanted a certain amount of money because of what he saw transpire in the league. And then it was about, well, it's dumb. He don't have an agent. If he had an agent, this would be done. Well, he didn't get an agent. So Lamar Jackson still is the same guy before he decided to get this contract done that he is now. And I think that he deserves a tremendous amount of credit. And obviously things didn't go fully his way, But when you walk away with $180 million plus and you betted on yourself from day one out the gate,
it went his way. It went his way.
He's done it his way.
Right.
And his mom has been in lockstep the whole way
I just want to
through.
remember that.
All right, Lamar Jackson just made a statement on social media. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
You know, for the last few months, there's been a lot of he say, she say, a lot of nail biting, a lot of head scratching going on. But for the next 5 years, it's a lot of flock going on. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to be there. Can't wait to light up M&T for the next 5 years, man.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, likable.
I get even watching it. You guys brought it up, and Dan, you said it really well. Just the journey that Lamar has been on to prove doubters wrong. To see him have this moment we shouldn't ignore it, right? But let's talk a little football, because I'm now fascinated to see what this Ravens offense actually looks like. They can add pieces, as Adam talked about there, but how good are they?
Well, when Adam said that, my mind went to DeAndre Hopkins. And I know that they already have Odell, but that's where it went to, because their new offensive coordinator comes from Georgia, Todd Monken. And really, like, the premise of this offense, or that offense at Georgia, was like pro style, right? Different players getting moved. What can they do best? And I think you're going to see players like Mark Andrews be utilized to what they're absolutely best at. I think you're going to see players like Devin Duvernay used a lot around the slot. Don't worry, Lamar will still be a runner. OBJ, Rashad Bateman. If it's not DeAndre Hopkins, I go back to thinking this offense really needs like that third weapon in the pass game, that third piece in the pass game. Wide receiver in the draft. Could it be a tight end in the draft, which is what they thrived at with Georgia, using Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's exciting about this team now. And we always at least guessed that they would have Lamar Jackson, but now you know you have him locked in and also happy, also ready to work with Todd Monken, ready to work with Odell Beckham Jr. And we've seen them do things in an offense that we didn't feel used Lamar Jackson to the best of his abilities. Now locking in for the offseason, having some of that pro style where he can choose to be a runner, but also utilize his threats, I think that's big for him.
Yeah. God, now I can't stop thinking about Darnell Washington and the Ravens.
Right? Don't you just think about that right now?
God, that'd be such a good fit. We talked about this, but we've only talked about it hypothetically. Now it finally feels good to say, okay, Lamar Jackson in Todd Monken's offense. What we saw at Georgia, in addition to the use of multiple tight ends, was a very, very successful play-action passing game, because he was so good at sequencing the run and the pass, making everything look the same.
Lamar's great
in a way that, of course, throwing Lamar Jackson into that is wonderful. But I just want to take a second. Like, there's a lot of happy fans, or fans that are about to be very happy. I don't think there's anyone happier right now out there than Ravens fans.
Ravens won the day already.
The fortunes of this team just totally flipped.
And I think organizationally, too, like, you could speak to this better than me, but you're no longer going to win the AFC with defense. With all due respect, and that's been a defensive-laden organization. You have to go get firepower. You have to go get firepower tonight.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.